Have you ever been told it's happening for a reason? When we say that something happens for a reason, it feels like we're trying to positively spin a raw deal or a bad situation, especially a situation that comes from maybe poor decisions from us or from others, or circumstances that lead to a lot of pain and hardship. That isn't what we mean when we say God is working his purposes out, especially through times of pain and suffering. God knows pain, and Jesus, his son, suffered the worst kind of agony imaginable, separated from God the Father, bearing the weight of every sin while being tortured to death on a cross. No positive spin seems possible. Yet, from the calamity that befell the eyes of his disciples and Jesus, his mother, something incredible was taking place, something they couldn't see, something the casual reader may not be able to see. In Colossians 1 verse 19 to 20, Paul writes, "For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross." So even when we can't see what's happening, God may be working his purposes out, even through the pain. But what about poor choices? What about making the wrong choices? How do we guard against that? Well, Jimmy Needham from the States, a songwriter, he writes this: "I used to live in a state of constant angst, worried that if I chose poorly, I might be struck with divine lightning. As I've searched the scriptures, I've come to understand more about what God's will really means. Allow me to liberate you from some needless stress. If you're walking by faith in Christ, trusting him to lead you, drawing spirit-filled brothers and sisters into your thinking, any decision can be a right decision. Apart from willfully choosing to sin, there's freedom to roam in the wide field of God's will. There is room within God's will for you to choose a school, state school, private school, or no school. There's room for you to pursue that godly girl and say yes to that godly man, or to remain single. God's will for your life is your sanctification, to enjoy him more fully, to live more holy lives, and to invite more people into your joy. Once the broader will of God for you is plain, the pressure lessens significantly in the specifics. Trust in Christ, take a step, and then ask for wisdom as you move forward. He's with you to the end of the age." Jimmy writes that the goal of life isn't heaven. Christ has secured that. The goal of your life is getting God. Love God more than the desire to make the right choices. Because in loving God more, that will guide your choices. If you've made poor choices, love God more and ask him to help you make better ones. On Sunday, we'll be exploring King Rehoboam in 1 Kings chapter 12 and looking at his poor choices and where he could have found discernment. Join us this Sunday as we explore 1 Kings chapter 12.